Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first ever non-Spider-Man episode. Um, After an hour and a half last week of talking about Spider-Man, I don't believe we'll be talking about him this week or anything to be related with it. But Evan, do you know anything we could talk about this week? Any big musicals come out this week with our one of our dear friends or anything like that?
Friend of the podcast. Well, you're in luck because
Hmm.
a new musical did come out this week.
Really?
It's called Cats. It stars friend of the show Jason Derulo as
Yes.
Rum Tum Tugger
Yes.
or
That's
Rum
what he
Tum.
goes by in real life now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He begins the songs with Rum Tum Tiger.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Wow, that joke didn't play as well as I thought it would.
It's okay. I haven't seen the
It
movie
worked better
Cats,
in my
so
head.
yeah. It probably would have worked better if I had seen the movie Cats and I could visualize
Yeah.
that happening. But alas, I have I have not seen the movie Cats.
I like how in the movie he's not like a full-on cat, really.
Yeah.
He's just like he's got like an all-black furry body, and
Hmm.
he wears like a pimp coat and like a
Sure.
fedora.
He's Jason Derulo if he were a cat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Um so yeah, we've got some.
Another musical did come out though,
Yeah, yes, that's right.
based on. I guess it's not even based on the Disney original because they don't use any
No,
songs.
this is a Camilla Cabello a biopic.
Yeah, it's the story of Camilla Cabello, how she began to be. Little known fact:
Yeah.
she began as a street urchin or
Hmm.
um, an urchin.
Hmm.
I don't know if she doesn't work on the street. She's actually a girl boss and a small business owner
Right.
who named Ella.
Hmm. No relation to the Disney princess Cinderella.
No relation to the Disney Princess Cinderella. We don't
No.
use any songs. Only relation to the public domain, so we don't have to pay anyone any money. Cinderella,
Hmm. Yes.
the book by like an old French guy. I'm pretty
Right.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing to do with the fact that this story's been told. We had Selena Gomez, we had Lily
Gomez.
James, Selena Gomez in another Cinderella story, of course, the classic from the early 2010s, starring her and Drew Seeley. It's actually a good movie, which I would recommend.
Don't tell me that.
I'm not messing with you. Um, who else played Cinderella? I don't
Lily
know.
James, as we mentioned.
Yes. Hmm.
Um, didn't Mary Martin, I think, or Julie Andrews, whoever it was
Uh, yeah,
in the
that.
Robert Hammerstein version.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I don't
Um,
know who it was. It was either Julie Andrews
mhm.
or someone.
I'm not 100% certain, but I'm sure there's some truth to that. So yeah, we'll talk about those blockbusters that have come out later, a little later. First, do you want to start with? Oh
Oh,
no,
get a call.
Evan is getting a call.
Sorry.
It's all right. Who was the call from?
Oh, it's not important.
It's not important. It was James Corden calling it, most likely. You probably
It
heard
was
we were
actually
about to.
Camila Cabello saying, it was Camila Cabello saying, please do not talk poorly about my new film.
Which we were
She's
going we were going to say great things only anyway.
we're only going to say good things about it. She's actually, when she's texting me right now, she
Mhm.
says her new screenplay, for a one-woman adaptation of Lars von Trier's film's Antichrist is actually
Okay.
set to come out.
Okay.
But funding for the film depends on good reviews for Cinderella, so
Sure.
we have to say good things so
Sure.
that Camilla Cabello's Antichrist can be seen by.
Yeah. Do you know people have been like everyone go see Dune, so like go buy tickets, so like they make a sequel or something because they might not if the box office does bad. It's like one of those. It's like go watch Cinderella on Prime Videos so Camilla Cabello's acting career continues. That's what the
I
kids are
never
saying.
got people who like say that because it's like, hey, that's only who are you telling?
Yeah.
Except for people who don't want to see the movie already. Why are you gonna say, hey, go see this movie
Yeah.
that you don't want to see, so that there can be more of it that you
Right.
don't want to see? If they don't want to see the movie, they're not going to.
Yeah. Yeah, there is really no need to say that. The people that want to see more will make sure that more is made, hopefully. Yeah. So I'll for further updates on the acting career of one Camilla Cabello, stay right here at Save Entertainment for all those updates. But would you like to start? We had just mentioned Dune, so I feel like it's only fair that we have some Dune to talk about, Evan.
Right, we do.
Hmm.
Some Dune news, or dues, as I call it.
Yes. So is the review embargo lifted?
At least a few review embargoes seem to be lifted because all the you know people on all the op-ed writers, all the letterboxed
The
reviewers,
arbiters of
high
truth
up
in the
ones,
movie industry?
right, the people whose opinions have never turned out to be wrong or embarrassing,
No.
have never have all come out in their opinions of Dune, and early reactions are mixed, to
Mixed,
say the least.
to say the least. So Evan's the resident Dune fan here. Um,
Someone who's read half the book.
yes.
I've seen the old movie.
Yeah. Well, I say that because I'm not. I'm not familiar with the first movie, the book at all. Um, but this is a movie I want to see. I like the cast. I saw the trailer, liked the trailer. Some good memes. We had that, Timothy Chalamet with his hand in the box. That was a meme for a little bit.
Hey, I read that part in the book. It's pretty good.
Pretty
Pretty good
good.
in the book.
Do you think I should read the book before I go see it? Or do you
At
think
this
anyone
point,
should?
it's like
Probably don't
no.
have time to.
At this point, just watch the movie first, and
Right.
then, because that's sometimes fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's pretty fun when you watch the movie first, and then you later go back and like watch the original. I
Sure.
love doing that. I do that all the time
Hmm.
because when I watch the new version, I'm thinking in my head like, huh, I wonder how they did that back in the 50s or
Hmm.
whatever. If I'm watching a remake. And with this
Sure.
one, I'll be like, huh, I wonder how in David Lynch's least critically acclaimed film,
Hmm.
how he well, I've seen that one, and I don't think it's that bad,
Okay.
but we'll see some more with here. But it seems like critics are divided
Yeah.
based on, like, some say it's not good storytelling,
Mm.
some say it's just a lot of world building. It seems to be that people are divided on whether this is a good film or a good franchise.
Yeah, right. So I guess since I don't know if it's confirmed if there's going to be more. I mean, I have to imagine there will be,
Because it's
but
only based on the first half of the book.
yeah. So I guess, maybe you have to go in watching, knowing there's going to be, this is some setup or this is some, just the beginning. Um, but would that be a bad mindset to go into it with, do you think? Like, since they could be, like, do you think there's any chance they can this, basically, is what I'm asking?
Well, I don't know if they did it Lord of the Rings style, but I'm pretty sure that part two is already made,
Okay.
or like the footage is already there.
Okay.
So I'm sure maybe the studio is not going to want to. And they spent a lot of money on this movie,
Right.
regardless, even if there isn't a part two. So
It's
I
a
think this
big
movie would have
cast.
to do very poorly
Yeah.
in order for there to be like that thing happening.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely good. Because it's a big cast. It looks like a big budget movie, and yeah, I hope it's good. I hope it's good for the those who are excited for it and want to see more, and maybe I'll join them after seeing this movie.
What seems interesting is that a lot of people called this film, they specifically referred to it as disappointing.
Okay.
And they seem to say that the general consensus of the film is that it's very, uh, much like the book, really,
Okay.
is that it's when you read the book Dune, every chapter I remember, again, I've only read the first half of it, so
Hmm.
I don't really know. But every chapter is like a new revelation. You learn something new about this world, this universe, and all the people inside of it.
Mm.
And every single thing, like every page, is like a new bit of like what's the word? What's the word?
Exposition.
Exposition. It's a new bit of exposition about the land of Arrakis
Okay.
and all the people on it. But it would be little humiliating if they do can part two. So we
Yeah.
have two Dune movies, both of which cover the first half of the book and nothing else.
Yeah. I guess at that point you kind of have to, make it more than what it is already.
Maybe when we're old, we're gonna make our own version of Dune.
The Dune CU, Dune Cinematic Universe.
The Dunes. Oh, the Dune CUs. What?
The Dune CU. Yes, I could have said DCU, but not to be confused with DCEU.
I used to think, why don't they call it the DCU? But then I remembered that would just be like
MCU, but
Detective Comics universe,
yeah, yeah, right,
or the
true,
DCCU.
yeah,
I guess it have to be. I guess it would have to be the DCEU. Huh.
yeah. And they don't want to sound too much like MCU, probably.
Yeah, I love that they say extended universe to imply.
Extended universe, yeah. Even though Marvel's extended, if anything.
They just mean to say that the movies are pretty long.
Yeah. The Snyder Cut is 4 hours long. It's very extended.
It's if the extended edition
The
universe.
extended edition, yeah, and then they release all those movies on HBO Max. That's like, here's the scene where Jesse Eisenberg is, I don't know, shooting lasers from his eyes.
That if that happens in Man of Steel 3,
Yeah,
like Lex Luthor gets a laser power.
yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna go see it in theaters.
What's so great about those is it's always like, no, you have to watch like the extended cut or the director's cut to like get the full understanding. It's like, just
If
show
you
me that
not
in the
like
movie.
the movie, watch another version of the
Yeah,
movie that's like an hour longer, and
yeah.
you'll like it more.
Then you'll get the full story. It's like, okay, well, is this
When has
one
that
even the full
when
story?
has that ever been the case where the like
Yeah.
theatrical version like sucks,
Hmm.
and then like the regular, the only time I can ever see where like it's a night and day difference that I can think of where I've seen both is maybe like uh, maybe like Blade Runner.
Okay.
That's the
I
only,
thought you might go with the Snyder cut, but
yeah, but like if you hated the Whedon version, you wouldn't end up, I think, loving the
sure,
Snyder cut.
sure, sure.
It's mostly the Snyder cut is mostly for people who watched the Whedon one and were like, this, all the Whedonism in here sucks.
Hmm.
Which is what I was. I remember watching it being like, I can tell which are the Whedon parts, and those
Yeah,
parts are bad parts.
yeah, yeah. True.
But like the only time I can ever think of where it's like, okay, the director's cut is like a whole new movie that really is just an excellent version is probably Blade Runner.
Hmm.
Even then, I didn't think the theatrical cut is
Yeah.
terrible. It's just not. It does ruin what was a great movie, but
Okay.
that's neither here nor there.
Okay. While we're on DC, there was an announcement like video kind of thing that they put out for DC Fandom. It's a dome of fans that scream, about how big fans they are of DC.
I thought it was a dome that was filled with ceiling fans that
it could be
the most
that.
air
See, I've
conditioned
never
in the world.
entered the fandom, so I don't know if there are. I've never been let in, to be quite honest. So I
Uh,
don't. I heard the required viewing is you have to watch the Snyder Cut 10 times,
mhm,
and you've got it. And then they said you have to watch the 2016 Suicide Squad at least twice, and I checked out there. I said
right.
I've seen it once. I'm all right.
That's too many times for me.
Yeah. Um, you know, I love Margot Robbie. It's Harley Quinn. Will Smith's fine and good.
And the thing about
I
that
draw
movie
the line at Jared Leto.
is it's like you and me, people like you and me don't like the Suicide Squad, but we're like the jaded, cynical group.
Sure.
But even like stupid people hate that movie.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
people who like have the line of Funko Pops on their wall didn't
Yes.
like Suicide Squad. That movie was happy for nobody. Nobody was, and you still have David Ayer tweeting like
Hey
Warner Bros.
guys,
Will not get my vision out, and it's like
don't
I
you
have
want to
seen
see
no
the scene?
evidence that your vision was an amazing film.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't you want to see the scene where Rick Flag and the Enchantress are talking about their relationship? No, no, no.
Don't you want to see even more footage of Jared Leto as the Joker?
No, no. Um,
I
that's
love how those are all the notes people give, as if
yeah.
that it makes, from all intents and purposes, Suicide Squad that we saw was the saved version of that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
They saved it by making that piece of garbage.
Take bits and pieces and just throw in like music, licensed music, and be like, oh, here it is.
Instead of being bad and confusing, it'll just be bad.
Yeah, yeah. That's all I
That was my
ask.
idea.
Don't make it bad and confusing. If it's gonna be bad, just have it be bad. Don't confuse me. Let me know why it's bad.
Yeah, let me know exactly the beginning, middle, and end of how bad this movie
Yes.
is.
Yes. The best part of like people who work for like comicbook.com or like anything is if like they see a Marvel movie and it sucks, but if they have like a good relationship with like Marvel or something,
Yeah,
they're like,
Marvel sending them a gift basket to go
yeah,
watch the premiere.
yeah, yeah. I got this Black Widow coat from Marvel and this
I,
pin.
I love it in the videos when like people have like those videos of like, oh, we're the comicbook.com people. To start off, we've got some Black Widow merch to give out.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like, why would you do that openly? That's like your union representative coming down wearing like a fur coat and like a top hat and a monocle, being like,
Yeah,
we've reached an agreement. They want you to stop striking, and
yeah.
we don't even need that dental plan anymore.
No, no.
I talked to them, and they actually told me we don't need a dental plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, why would you openly just be like, yeah, sure, Disney gave me. Just a coincidence that Disney gave me all this stuff that I also think this is the best movie I've seen.
Yeah,
The last movie
no
that
relation
was
though.
the last movie where Disney gave me a gift basket for.
Yeah, yeah. The best thing since the last thing they put out.
I do love how every Disney movie, every time you look up an MCU movie, there's the top article is, this is an MCU movie like you've never seen
Yeah.
before.
I don't think there's any MCU movie that is gonna be groundbreaking, to be quite honest.
But it's been the last 15 movies. They always say,
Yeah.
okay. This one is
Mhm.
different. Okay, this is
Yes.
a different one.
Yeah.
And they've said that like 15 times.
Yeah. Yeah. This one, the Guardians of the Galaxy, they meet up with Iron Man.
This time, two superheroes. Okay, remember, I love how the whole concept of the MCU is that they're like making people are going to act surprised. Like,
Yeah.
okay, imagine this. Iron Man meets Captain America.
Yeah.
Mind blown, am I
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right, now give us about $2 billion and we'll
Yeah.
keep making these movies for 15 years.
Soon, every character will meet every other character they have yet to meet.
That was basically Disney's going to do their own version of Space Jam,
Yeah.
and or conversely Lego Batman,
Yeah.
and we're just
Right.
going to have it's just like the IP fest. We're going to have
The
Darth
cameo
Vader
fest. Yeah.
meet Iron Man, meets
Yeah.
Captain America, meets Luke Skywalker, meets
Lightning
Cinderella,
McQueen. Yeah.
meets Camilla Cabello, dressed
That one
as.
I was not expecting. That was good. That got me.
Hey, actually, full circle. Camilla Cabello
Mhm.
with James Corden, who has also met Cinderella in
Uh-huh.
Into the Woods.
Wow. So are we led to believe that this is the same character that James Corden played in Into the Woods? Is he the baker?
I think I never saw that movie,
I
but
haven't either. I've seen the musical though.
yeah, it's like I don't want to see a thing that I saw when I was in high school,
Yeah.
except with James Corden as the
Yeah.
main
Right.
character.
Right. It's okay. Yeah. I get your point. I don't know if I'll ever see the movie.
I don't think that's a movie that I'll never see. I don't think
Yeah.
I'll ever watch that movie.
I think Anna Kendrick's in it. Meryl Streep is the witch,
Anna
I think.
Kendrick's in it. Who does she play?
I
She
think she
Little
might
Dry.
be. Oh, is she? I thought she was
She's
Cinderella.
Cinderella,
I
isn't
think
she?
she's Cinderella.
Yeah,
I don't know though. That's
I didn't see it. No,
Chris
Meryl.
Pine is one of the princes. I know
Right,
that.
Chris Pine is Cinderella's prince. I'm pretty sure,
Okay.
and I know Meryl Streep is
She's the witch.
the witch.
Yeah. James Corden is the baker.
That's just bizarre casting.
Yeah, I was thinking that because I was gonna say that is the character I could least buy James Corden as in that
No,
whole thing.
Cinderella's prince is who I could least buy James Corden
Yeah,
as.
but even then you could make him like dumb and like kind of
Yeah, then you could
self-aware.
be funny with it.
Yes, that's what
But
I mean. Yeah.
that's
It
like if
wouldn't
you
be
hired, like,
good, but
obviously this is a clownishly exaggerated example, but it's
mhm.
like if you hired like Jerry Lewis to play Hamlet,
Okay.
and he was the whole time being like, to be or not to be, lady, oh boy, oh geez, I fell on my sword.
Yeah.
You think he does the accent? Because he's with Emily Blunt. I know Emily Blunt is the baker's
Oh,
wife.
it'd be great if they both did their accents and they were like, we're an English bakers.
We're an English couple.
Yeah.
Oh no, I accidentally ate all the pies.
Yeah.
Oh, aren't I aren't I charming?
Yeah.
I
Blimey.
don't get it. How do they? I imagine James Corden has to have had one good performance for the fact that he's in everything, right?
Mm,
Because, like, first of all, he's always the character they put the most in the trailers, but his character is
sure.
always the one who sucks. Like, he's the
Yes.
best friend, or he's like the guy who's like in one act of the movie who everyone's like, oh, not this guy. He came in. Oh, look. He's always like some dude named like Fungles,
Yeah.
and he comes in and like, oh man, Fungles ate all the cake. Oh,
Fumbles,
Fungles.
why'd you
He's like
do it?
licking his fingers like,
Yeah.
oh, I thought that the cake was for me. And then the movie opens and it makes like $10 on a budget of $200 million.
Yeah.
And he's done that like 9 times now.
Yeah. Fungals really, really. I can like picture what you're describing happening in my head. Like I know exactly
And
what you mean.
this has happened in 9 different movies, and they keep bringing him back,
Yeah.
which means either A, he must have, like, I don't know, given a very generous. Maybe he accidentally walked in on the Eyes Wide Shut party that's going on in the back of Warner Brothers, and so he's like, "Hey, if you don't cast me as Fungles in this next script, I
Yeah.
am telling everyone what you did." And then producer Brian Singer is like, "Oh, okay, all right, I'll write in the character for you."
Yeah.
Maybe that's in his contract as part of the TV show.
Okay, who's gonna write the James Corden character? And they have a guy who like writes them every time, and he's like, I guess I'll do it again.
You think it's a guy? I think it's like a computer extension that they have where they put like Control
Yeah.
JC, and then they just like add like a block text into
Yeah.
the script every.
It
It's
like
like rated like
autofills at this
every 10
point.
pages.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Fungles. Fungles is great. That's like the yeah, like that's not anything he's been named in a movie, but eventually he will be.
Fungles.
Fungles. I want to look up what his character in Cinderella's name is.
He plays one of the rats.
I know, I just want to see if there's like a good name. Let's see. We
Rattle.
should watch the Cinderella Crosswalk the musical video on YouTube.
No, we shouldn't.
Let's get loud. James Corden as it doesn't say. It just says mice. I wish he had a name. That makes me sad. Adina Menzel is Vivian.
Wait, Vivian? Famous
Yeah.
character from Cinderella, Vivian.
Yes, that's exactly how it's described.
Is that like Cinderella? Oh, is that like the evil stepmother?
She's the
I bet that's
stepmother,
the evil
yes.
stepmother.
Yeah, that's her name now.
The evil stepmother, Beth.
Yes.
But
What's
in
his
this
character's
version,
name in Cats?
whose character?
James Corden.
I remember this. It's Buster Jones.
Yeah,
And I
that
know
makes
that
sense.
because the song goes, "My name is Buster Jones. I'm not skin and bones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really fat." And halfway during the song, he starts like eating pies and cakes and like food he finds in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't hear the song because his mouth is full of trash because he's
Mm-hmm.
eating trash while he's singing.
Good.
That's how like you first begin hearing his song like legibly, and then halfway through you can't understand the
Yeah,
lyrics because he's eating trash while he's
that's good.
singing.
Yeah, that's good. I think we should
And
do
he
a.
ends the song like falling into a trash can.
I think we should do a watch through of every movie James Corden is in. I just want to see like what he does.
The Emoji Movie will be the toughest, I think.
You think so? I think the toughest would be like the prom has got to be tough.
Oh yeah, that's got to be annoying. Probably more annoying than the Emoji Movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because the Emoji Movie, from what I understand, has no musical numbers.
Okay. See, yeah, musical numbers are always a good like. All right, this moves fast. It's not always fun, but it makes it move.
It depends. In a good movie or in an okay movie,
Mm-hmm.
there are some musicals I've seen where a song will start, and in the back of my head, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, not another song.
Okay.
I like turning to a guy who hates musicals who's like, oh, I forgot that these things have songs in them.
Right.
And when they're bad songs, it's just like, oh, you want to stop watching this movie to hear the worst song you've ever heard,
Right.
sung by like a
Someone you
theater
hate.
sung by a person you like has no soul. Like they were like a high school theater student, and then they like sent in a video on YouTube, and now they're like in this movie musical on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's like this person has no soul.
No.
They've been like polished by every record producer.
Yeah. They're a robot at this point.
Right.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Into the Woods, like I'm just looking at pictures of the movie, and Johnny Depp plays the wolf, and it's
Wait.
It's pretty funny. Like you just look up Johnny Depp as the wolf and you'll get a good giggle.
Johnny Depp wolf.
Hmm. I don't know if they tried to make him look like cool because the wolf is not a good character in the movie.
he he looks he looks like he leads a ghost tour in New Orleans.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like,
He
yeah.
looks like he plays Magic the Gathering in a comic book shop after hours.
Yeah, it's just like the wolf
And
is
the
like,
painted on must. Oh wait,
yeah.
that's like fake wolf hair as his mustache.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
I want to watch the movie and see like how it looks when he's like in action.
If you're at home, actually look this up. It's
Please
funny
look this
that
up. Please look this up if you're listening. Yeah, it's great.
okay, because like that's something that you can do in a play, but it's
Yes.
funny that they present this thing to you in a movie and be like, "Yeah, that's a wolf. That's what a wolf looks like."
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a guy in a hat
It
with a
is Johnny Depp with a fake mustache and goatee, and his eyebrows are like a little more wolf looking than a human's, but it's kind of
outside
just
of
Johnny
the
Depp in
ears.
like a
There's
coat.
nothing wolf like. He's just and
His
knowing
ears are sticking out of his hat.
knowing what the wolf is supposed to be in the musical,
Right.
that just that makes it this so Johnny Depp is basically just playing like real life James Franco in this movie
Yes. Yes.
because
Basically.
because when you make it a wolf and you have that like dynamic, there's like an air of fantasy to the horrifying.
Right.
But
He
when he's
looks
just a
more
guy
human
with a
than
mustache,
yes. Yes. He looks more human than wolf. Yeah. It's not.
funny that they thought that they present to you a human who's wearing a hat and they're
Yes.
like, he's a wolf.
Johnny Depp as wolf.
And then does he dress up like the grandmother? And they're like, oh, you look just like my grandmother.
Yeah, right, right. What is that?
And
How
he's
does he
wearing
hide his
a hat, but he's got like a wig on top of the hat.
yeah. I hope that's how it goes down. I have to watch this movie. I need to watch this movie now.
I'm looking at pictures of this. This is the ugliest looking movie I've ever
It
seen.
looks
Why are
so
the
it's
only colors
almost
in
as
this
bad
movie
as
are
Suicide
blue and
Squad.
white?
It's almost as bad.
Actually, Suicide Squad, the first one, probably is the ugliest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. This one
It,
does not look much better.
it's interesting how the only two colors in this movie are like blue and white.
Yeah, and it's like a dark, ugly blue.
This is like this entire movie looks like a drawing that would be found like on the front page of like DeviantArt,
Yeah.
like a poorly made like drawing
Yeah,
that some
like I
this would be
get
on someone's Tumblr page in like 2014, being like, look at this drawing I made of my fantasy world
mhm,
called like Megaland, where
yeah.
I'm the coolest person in high school.
Yeah. I get that the
And
woods
I'm
have to
also like
be
a wood fairy nymph, you know?
I was gonna say I get how the woods have to be like dark and mysterious, but this just looks bad.
It looks like a bad Instagram filter.
Yeah. Into the woods.
It's so also he has wolf hands too.
Does he really? I didn't see the hands.
He has wolf hands, but a human
Oh, I
face.
see that. Yeah. Yeah. And they're like gray.
You think his whole body is wolf-like?
I don't know. Cause why does it end at the face? Like, does he have wolf feet?
Because that's the thing. He doesn't. Neither,
My sorry, go ahead.
he neither look. I mean, he neither looks like a wolf, nor does he look like a regular man.
Sure.
Like he looks like a strange. He looks like a furry, really.
They
In this
didn't commit.
movie, Red Riding Hood is seduced by a furry,
Yeah.
who
They
then he's like a sexually lecherous furry, which is what
sure.
makes it really bad that this is in a Disney movie.
They just didn't commit to either he's Johnny Depp with a little bit of wolf, or he's a wolf with a little bit of Johnny Depp. It's a little of both, and not in a good way.
Because couldn't they have just given him? It'd be cooler instead of having the wolf hands. If he had like I know like some black. It would be funny actually if you did this and the wolf was like Dolomite, like and he had like a purple coat. He was
Yeah,
like,
he was like
or he was
swagged out.
Eddie Murphy as Dolomite,
Yeah, yeah,
and he's got like a purple coat. He's got like the pimp suit and stuff like that, and
yeah,
he's like, "My name is the Wolf.
yeah,
Hello, little girl. Come with."
yeah. My biggest question is: does Johnny Depp crawl, or does he stand up straight?
Does he crawl like on all fours?
Well, like if he's supposed to be a wolf, why is he? He can't just stand
Yeah.
up
How
straight.
far do they go with this?
And it looks like I'm getting my question answered. It looks as if he's standing up straight, which probably was
So
the better call to make.
that is less disturbing. True.
Yeah,
It is really fun. Actually, now we do have to watch this movie.
I want to watch
That's
this movie.
amazing that they just have a guy in a hat come
Yeah.
in and they're like, "This is the wolf."
Yeah.
Isn't this just a? Because in the Broadway musical, it's a guy in a wolf suit.
Yeah.
Is everyone in the musical you think like this? Like the baker? I guess everyone else is a human in this.
Everyone else is human. Yeah.
But it's like everything else, it looks like it's played literally. So why have the wolf just be a dude who you call a wolf?
Sure. It's a good question.
They should have gone it all the way. And he's just like a regular, like real world, just like pedophile. Like he's wearing like a dirty wife beater and sweatpants.
I'm about to send you a image that I found. You can describe it as you receive this, but it's another Johnny Depp image of Into the Woods.
Okay, so this is Johnny Depp. So as we said before, this is now
Yes.
Johnny Depp with the mustache on,
Mm-hmm.
wearing a bonnet and a grandmother dress with the wolf hands still
With
on.
the wolf, I was about to mention, yes. Wolf hands
So
notably visible.
his mustache and glasses. He's also got like these like Gary Oldman and Dracula glasses on. We never mentioned.
Right.
But, so in this version, he's a furry, and also I guess like a cross dresser as well. So,
Sure.
Props to him, I guess.
Props to him. Sure.
His truth.
Yes.
And okay, we have to watch this movie now.
It exists, I think.
You've entirely changed my mind on whether this movie is good or not. This must be amazing.
This must be a comedy.
Because
I'm gonna look at
Like-
Letterboxd. Into the Woods. I can't believe I've never done a deep dive into this. And now I'm getting a call.
is this meant to be taken like 100% seriously though? Like, are children meant to see Johnny Depp and say, "Oh, this is like a wolf. This is a
Right,
wolf that I'm looking at."
Who's the target audience here that we're making Johnny Depp half wolf? So it averages 3 stars on Letterboxd.
That's pretty damning, actually.
Second review says Johnny Depp reprises his role as the creep. Okay. Jake Gyllenhaal was originally supposed to be in the movie.
As the wolf?
Jake Gyllenhaal was supposed to be Rapunzel's prince, apparently.
They originally wanted James Franco, in fact, as the wolf.
Right. That would have been
not in costume, just like as a regular guy,
as
himself.
Yeah, he wouldn't have to do much acting there.
Yeah, I had only heard about the James Franco allegations right before this podcast, so
yeah,
you're very kind to catch me up on these.
Yeah, James Franco, not the best.
Done some questionable things.
Many questionable things. Interesting that Jake Gyllenhaal was attached to this. Maybe it would have made it better.
They should have had
Um,
Jake Gyllenhaal as the wolf.
yeah, yeah.
Again, not just just as regular Jake Gyllenhaal.
Hmm.
Not to imply that he's done anything, but that
No.
would have made it even more.
Yeah,
And it would have added an extra layer.
yeah. So, yeah. Everyone go watch Into the Woods. I
This
wish.
has been a very lengthy digression. What were we originally talking about?
I think it was worth it though. Um, we were talking about DC fandom, I think, and
Oh,
eventually got here.
yeah.
I don't. What was the road we took to get to Into the Woods from DC fandom?
DC fandom. And then we said Marvel has a big crossover with all of their characters.
Sure.
And then I mentioned, Camila Cabello is there.
And we talked
Camila
about
Cabello is there,
Cinderella,
which went to Cinderella, which went to Into the Woods.
James Corden. Okay.
Cinderella, which went to James Corden, which went back to Cinderella, back into the Woods.
Yeah. A reasonable progression.
Yeah.
So yes, if you're listening to us for our DC fandom talk, apologies, I guess.
I don't think there are any DC fan.
No.
If you're a DC fandom lover and you were very upset by our last digression, then
Yeah.
please email us because I'll be very glad to know that you exist.
Yeah, I would like to know if you exist. I just wanted to mention as far as DC fandom that there's gonna be it. I think it's next month. I think it's like mid-October. I want to say October 16th. I could be guessing. New Batman trailer, first one, great. Probably gonna get a release date. Probably that's my bet.
Because it got pushed back again, didn't it?
It got pushed back to 22. I think it's gonna come out next year for sure. My guess is it comes out October next year, December next year, November, end of next year. I think we're gonna get a release date.
I think it's very naive of these studios to keep pushing. I think the eternal problem is that once the pandemic is lifted, people aren't going to be flooding back to the movie theaters now that they remember that they don't have to.
Yeah.
This is an industry that was already on its way out, and like now it's basically all gone.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hope that I think Shang-Chi has good box office numbers. I think some blockbusters are helping, definitely.
Maybe movies are back. Maybe studios are learning that $250 million is too much to spend on a movie.
Perhaps.
Maybe do anything else with your $50 million instead of making, Spider-Man 14.
Well, James Corden has to get paid somehow.
That's true. That's the only way James Corden makes any money. We have to think about James Corden's wife and children.
Right.
That would be funny if James Corden secretly just owns Hollywood. Like
right.
If all the trails lead back to James Corden, that's why he's in everything.
Yeah. He demands a small role in every movie.
Like when you have to make it into Hollywood, they lead you down all the corridors and you're like, you have to talk to Mr. C.
Right.
Everyone's like, who's Mr. C? And then you get to the big office. There's like a big chair that's back to you, moves to the front, and he goes, hello, well, geez, I just ate all the cakes that were meant for the cast of Cinderella. Oh my God, Mr. C stands for Fungles James Corden.
Right, that's his first name.
Stands for James in parentheses on his desk. It says James in parentheses Fungles Corden.
Yeah, that reminds me. I was watching those Comedy Central roasts that they do every now and then. So there's one of James Franco that I saw. Not to bring James Franco back up, but I will.
He's working his way in.
He always does. And Bill Hader comes out as this one character, and he calls himself like the King of Hollywood, and he's got, you know how like Jane Lynch would wear in Glee, like the tracksuits all the time.
Now that you have outed yourself as a person who has watched Glee, I will never let you forget it.
Okay. Yeah, I watched the first 2 seasons.
Okay. All right.
That's all. That's all. My hands are up.
All right. All right.
I
Okay.
didn't. I'm sorry. It's high school happens. Um. Yeah, I watched Glee. I didn't watch all of it. I watched a little bit of it. Whatever.
You went completely nerd.
I exposed a part of myself I did not want to. But it needed. I guess it had to be done.
Hey, I watched the Grease episode.
The Grease episode. I don't know if I saw that one.
I've seen the Grease episode and I've seen the Rocky Horror episode. And
I don't know if I saw the Rocky Horror one. I watched the first 2 seasons. Some of the songs are not bad. Some of the covers they do. I'll admit
yeah,
that. That's
it's
an
like
opinion. That's a hill I'll die on.
that Glee wasn't that bad.
No, not that the show, but like some of the covers they did, I think are decent.
So you weren't a gleek, as they say.
No. I genuinely was not. I was like, I would watch it, but I was never like, yeah, I'm gonna go watch Glee. I was never like gung ho about it. Like I would not, I never would, even when I was watching it, and I won't now. Besides some of the music I like, I will not die on any hills for Glee. It's not worth it.
Wow. So you're really just switching up on the homies. At first it was like,
Switching up on the homies. Somewhere Only We Know. That's a good cover they do.
huh.
It's a good
Trying to
song.
remember the original. What did the original song sound like?
Um, I walked across an empty path. I knew
Who did
something
it?
like the
What song
back
is
of
this?
my hand. Keen. It's by Keen. Somewhere Only We Know. I think it's their most famous song. No, oh, actually, they have a couple of famous songs. Never mind. No, I wasn't.
They were the ones who did the "Forget You" cover of the CeeLo Green song, right?
Yes, that was. Is that? Yes, that was
I
that the last straw for you.
I respect any show that has the audacity to call their own fans the Gleeks,
Sure.
which sounds like it was made. The name sounds like came up by a guy who has a sinus infection.
Right.
I'm a big Gleek. I really love the show.
Yeah.
I like to imagine the person who listens to the Glee versions of songs over the original versions.
Right. That is something I will never do. Yeah.
If you ever did that, you're in the trenches already.
Yeah. See that is something I can admit I've never done. Like I watched it. Okay, I watched it. I watched the first 2 seasons. Never really got past it.
We're both theater kids at heart. We can admit it. We're open about that in this pod.
A little, yeah. I mean, look, I know I'm wearing a Hades Town shirt right now and got these.
You got your playbills in the back.
Yeah, but that was more of a high school phase, I think. I don't think it's who I truly am. And there are some.
Pack it up, buddy. That's what they all say.
Well, I wanna talk about this. There was a trailer. So I watched Big Brother, the reality TV show. If anyone knows what that is, who's listening. And to my surprise, who do I see show up on my screen in the middle of the episode but Ben Platt? And he's talking to the Big Brother contestants, which they call house guests. And he says, here's a trailer of Dear Evan Hansen, my new movie. If you win the next competition, you get to see an advanced screening and invite 3 friends. And they win and someone wins and they show them Dear Evan Hansen like in the house. And I was like, what is happening? Because I used to probably like 3 years ago, I like loved that show. And I still like it. I don't think it's a bad show. But I'm like, we've talked about this. I'm not too excited for the movie. I will go see it. It
So
doesn't
maybe
look,
you're really the top. It seems weird though to invite like your three friends
yeah,
as if you were like inviting them to like a free getaway
right.
in like a vacation location, but to see like you're inviting your three friends to go to a destination spa,
Like
but it's
someone
going
somewhere they really want to go or something they really want to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you guys want free tickets to go see an advanced screening of Dear Evan Hansen the movie?
It's like, yeah, I guess.
A movie that will be a movie that looks like it would show up on like Hallmark, like a Hallmark original film.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah.
Where did Cyberbully, the movie Cyberbully with Emily Osment, wherever that first debuted,
Mhm.
that's where Dear Evan Hansen would have debuted maybe like 3 years ago.
Just online. Here's the link to it. Go watch it if you want.
I feel like was that like that wasn't a Disney Channel original movie, I know. But it was like was it a Lifetime movie? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Cyberbully.
I actually don't know. I don't know that I've never heard of the movie.
Really?
Really?
Cyberbully starring it was a
Well,
movie.
Emily Osment, I would be led to believe that is a Disney movie.
No, because I don't think it is.
Cyberbully on the poster and the L's in cyberbully are two
They're like,
slashes.
yeah, they're two slashes.
Kay Panabaker, also a renowned Disney Channel actress.
ABC Family is where
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
because there is a scene where she attempts suicide with pills and
Oh.
cannot do it because she can't give the clap. She can't get the cap off.
That's the reason.
Yeah, there's childproof capping
Uh
on the pill bottle, and that was the scene that was always on YouTube that people would stitch out of this video and
and
put
then
around.
someone probably knocks on her door and is like, "What are you doing?"
No, like her mom breaks in and she's just going like, I can't get the cap off, and then like her mom stops, and then the pills spill everywhere.
Yeah.
And if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure she gets on the ground and starts eating them like a cow.
This is another movie I need to watch. Um,
Come to Save Entertainment for the news.
yeah.
Stay for the film suggestions
Stay for
like
the film.
Into the
Yeah.
Woods and Cyberbully.
Yeah, we're just rattling off, must see films for everyone.
That was one of those movies that was like it was a high school movie that was all about bullying, and but it was
Uh-huh.
around the time when like I don't know, I didn't go to school in an 80s movie, but it was
Right.
around the time when people stopped like putting effort into bullying. And so you would make all these movies about these like mean nasty bullies and you look out of touch, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been watching Freaks and Geeks, and it was made in 99, but it's set in the 80s. And it's like there's this one group of three nerds, and it's like Sam Levine, Martin Starr, who is in he's in the Spider-Man movies. He's the one teacher. Um, and they like actually get bullied, but they get like beat up. And I was like, did
Did
that
bullying
actually
scare
happen?
people?
Like
Yeah.
people put effort into bullying than they used to, I guess.
The most there's ever bullying at my school would maybe be like there's a kid with a weird shirt, and
Hmm.
then when people would come up to him in the hallways and be like, "Hey, dude, I love your shirt," and then go back to their friends and be like, "I told that
Then
to
just
them."
laugh at you in the hallway.
But that was the worst, and that was the worst bullying ever gotten.
Yeah,
You know, or it was never in movies. They make it sound like people will like insult you to their
traumatized.
face, but I feel like we lived in a generation of non-confrontational people.
I could agree with that. Yeah, yeah. Um. So yeah. Do you want to talk about anything you've watched this week? Is there anything other than Into the Woods and that you've is well renowned?
I've watched the film Candyman.
Oh, right.
Candyman, the
Yes.
Candyman can. The Candyman can make a mediocre film.
Oh
That's
no.
what I would say if I was like a hack TV critic, but I'm not
Right.
going to say that.
And then you
See,
would
if
be
I
so
say that, I
proud
get
of
the
that
best of
joke.
both worlds. I get to make a bad joke, and then I can be like, I don't worry, I'm not a bad joke maker.
I don't know. There's a lot of TV people who like you can tell like came up with a joke the night before and are like, this one's really gonna land with the audience, and they'll be like, the Candyman can make a bad movie. And then it's like the audience, the live studio audience, that's like forced to laugh at anything like they think could be remotely funny.
They're like just kind of confused. They're like,
Yeah. And then like the guy is still so proud, even though he got like half laughter.
and you go, "Who said that?
Yeah.
That joke wasn't funny."
Yeah. So yeah.
And the movie wasn't awful.
Okay.
It was okay. I'm not going to recommend it really.
No.
If you weren't already planning on, if you were already planning on seeing it, I would say temper your expectations a little bit.
Okay.
If you weren't planning on seeing it, you don't
Yeah.
have to. It's that. So it's written by Jordan Peele, right?
Oh, really? That I didn't know.
And it takes on a very socially conscious angle,
Okay.
which I'm not opposed to, but it attempts satire just by through lip service.
Okay.
Like they just explain what gentrification is and how it's harmful, but it's not like worked into the plot.
Okay.
Like that's not what the story's about. It's not about gentrification. It's kind of about police violence, but only really tangentially.
Okay.
It would work a lot better if they just let all of the themes speak for themselves and then they put that into the plot instead of just having several scenes where the characters just talk to each other
You
about
thought it
their
was forced?
well, not even forced because it is a part of the story, but the
Okay.
presentation felt forced.
Okay.
There's one I noticed watching it that it felt like a Netflix original movie.
Hmm.
And it does. It feels like an episode of a TV show that's really long because yeah, like all the messaging of the movie, like the deeper messaging of the movie is told not even through the plot. Like they're out like so the main concept of the Candyman is that he was uh a black guy
Mm-hmm.
who was interested in a white woman, and then the town, turned on him and killed him, and
Okay.
that's what the Candyman. And the first one I thought was a pretty good movie, and it worked in the social messaging pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I just thought like all the social messaging they do is done through dialogue and not
Okay.
through the actions of the characters.
Cool.
And that's what made, I think, Get Out and Us really good, is that it's done none of the moral that they're trying to get across. It's never said aloud. Like the
Oh,
audience
yeah.
have to put the pieces together.
Sure.
And with this one, everything is spoken, but
Okay.
it's spoken in a really simplified way. It's spoken like a gotcha Twitter thread,
Okay.
which it just feels a little like, it
Over
feels very,
explanation.
huh?
Over explanation.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's nothing in that movie that feels new, or it feels just very derivative. It's a very derivative movie.
Mm.
And that's really a shame because there's a lot of funny moments. There's a lot of good jokes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of dark humor, especially during the kill sequences, which I loved every scene where a person gets murdered. The Candyman murdering people is so cool, and I wish
Okay.
the movie was just more of that.
Okay.
Or if it wasn't more of that, then it would delve deeper into the satire by making it a part of the story
Hmm.
instead of just like, I don't know, where it stands right now, it doesn't commit to either, which I think acts the movie's detriment. It makes it just kind of like, it makes it very just sort of unfocused.
Okay.
And again, it feels like 10, like we're watching 13 Reasons Why.
Mm.
Like, it's a story about anti-bullying. Most of the anti-bullying stuff in that movie comes through what people say, and what you're
Okay.
actually seeing on screen is like an exaggerated melodrama portrayal of this, which so it doesn't work on the facet of entertainment because you're cutting off its entertainment and you're cutting off its value as social messaging.
Mm.
So
Okay.
those are my thoughts. Kept it very
Thoughts?
succinct. I feel like I repeated myself a lot of times, but
That happens. Everyone repeats themselves.
have you seen anything of note?
Well, I mentioned I was watching Freaks and Geeks. I've watched an episode every night the past 3 nights, so I'm on episode. I'll watch episode 4 tonight. It's only 18 episodes. It's one season,
Okay.
so I like it so far. It's one of those. It focuses on like two different groups of people: the freaks and the geeks, obviously, as anyone could put together. And it's a very you know how in coming of age stories how like something feels forced and it's like this would never happen.
Yeah.
This I feel like is a realist, like I could see this happening, the situations these characters are in, and I like that a lot. It's got good actors in it. I would recommend it. It's on Hulu. um and I watched the movie Alpha Space, funny movie. I also watched Whiplash twice.
Yes.
Yes, Whiplash. It's in my top 10 movies.
You
It's
are a
great.
big fan of that Damien Chazelle fella.
I am.
That
He's my
Damien
boy. He's my boy. Yeah.
I should mention, I forgot about old movies that I've watched.
Oh yeah, sure.
I did watch the movie, one of my favorites, True Stories. I also watched it twice, actually,
Really
back to back. I watched it one night and then I watched it again in the morning.
nice.
Um, it's close to a perfect movie, if you ask me.
Wow. Okay.
I, I am biased, A, being a Talking Heads fan, and B, like a guy who grew up in suburban Texas.
Hmm.
But on both of those counts, it strikes me. And it's just a little story about this town. It's very like it's feel good, but it's not sappy.
Okay.
Like it's a feel good movie, but in its heart, there's a kind of like feeling of like longing
Okay.
and like want,
Yeah.
which it gives it like this. It provides a little bit of shading, which
Yeah.
makes the end. It makes the overall positive attitude of the film more impactful.
Yeah.
That it includes that kind of like the melancholy. It's a story about people. I wrote this in my review on Letterboxd, so I'm quoting
Hmm.
myself. But it's a story about people who want connection in a world that seems designed to separate that from us above all else.
Hmm.
And and then that's it's very charming in that respect.
I like that. I like feel good, but not sappy. Like
Yeah.
it's not like it's trying to make you feel good.
But it's a story that it makes you end up feeling good.
Yes. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I know you had texted me about that. Yeah.
You end it with a smile on your face.
I'll add it to my watch list, my letterbox watch list. I've been trying to go through it. True stories, right?
True stories.
All right.
It's like a guy holding a news. It's David Byrne
Yes.
holding a newspaper on the front. He's got an odd little pose. One of his legs is raised.
Yes. He does. All right. Watch listed. Um oh, I also watched an episode of Marvel's What If because I was bored and I saw that this one episode It's the only episode I watched. I didn't watch the first two. I saw this episode was a murder mystery, so I was like, all right, I'll watch it. Wish I didn't. It just left me with like such a nothing feeling after watching it because I was like, this is cool, but I don't I don't care.
That's how I felt about Candyman.
Yeah,
It ended, and I was like, "This was cool looking," but I can't. Nothing about this film made me care about anything you had to say. You're just saying stuff I already know
sure.
in a way that I've already seen.
Yeah. So I mean, if you like Marvel's What If, and you like the Candyman or any, that's fine. I'm not. We are not saying that there
I'm
are correct
bashing you.
opinions.
Right.
Yes, but I did not like it, and Evan did not like Candyman. So
We should mention a movie that I haven't seen,
yeah.
which is Addison Rae's cinematic debut.
Well, Addis,
Uh,
yes.
it
This
did it come
movie,
out this week?
it came out this week. I believe it's in the top 10 for Netflix's most watched. I don't know if that's out of people's curiosity. Um,
I just know I only started seeing it on Letterboxd this week.
yeah. Yeah, this week. Um, this
We'll
is a
talk about
movie.
all that.
My thoughts on this movie are this is a movie that is going to provide us with great letterboxd reviews to read on here for a long time.
Oh yes.
Like we could have a review for this movie every week.
I think the main takeaway from the fact that this movie exists is that I don't know. I'm gonna guess the budget on this is probably about like 10, 15 million.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna look it up. He's all that. The budget on this as 20 million. Oh, it's 5
Oh,
million shy. And even that, a lot.
yeah.
But regardless, what this is proving to me is Disney, Warner Brothers, you don't have to spend $200 million on making anything. You can just put Addison Rae or uh, Charlie D'Amelio,
Mm-hmm.
just put her in the movie for like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even have to be 10 minutes at the same time. You can just have her in like one scene, and I guarantee you can spend $20 million on it, and it'll make all of its money back.
Right. You know what I want to see? I want to see a low budget Marvel or Disney movie or DC movie. I want to see
That would be really cool. Like,
do a low budget movie just once. And I want to see what they can do.
it would be cool if you gave Disney, like, okay, if you've ever seen one of my favorite movies is this, it's an obscure movie from 1968. Not that obscure.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of well known. It's a cult classic
Mm-hmm.
called Danger Diabolic. And
Mm-hmm.
I love it because it's a superhero movie that was made on like $400,000,
Okay.
which, it's cheap even for 1968.
Right.
And I love every cost cutting measure they use, all the matte paintings,
Yeah.
all the like trick photography, all the scale models and stuff like that they do. And I
Mm-hmm.
would love if Marvel like limited themselves to that. If DC was like, okay, you can make a superhero movie, but you can only spend like we'll give it easy on them for the first time. You
Mm-hmm.
can only spend 50 million for the first one.
Yeah.
And then if they do it well, 35 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to keep slashing the budget until they're like, no, we can't anymore. And then we're like, you've learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Make sensible movies.
Make
You
a
don't have to
movie that
spend $1 billion on a movie that looks worse than a fan film on YouTube.
they're so reliant on it too.
I know. It's like, first of all, where is that money going? I'm
Yeah.
going to guess, okay, 50 million of that is going to paying,
Robert Downey Jr.
right, Robert Downey Jr. or whatever Hollywood actor is like, I need this $2 million for a month of work,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Not a knock against you, Robert Downey Jr. You're pretty cool.
You were just the easy choice.
You're an easy target. You were there. But okay, I'm gonna guess maybe 50 million goes into that. Where's that other 200 million going?
Right.
Just like the special effects
the
that look
special
fake
effects
and
that
bad?
look good for 75% of the movie, then at the end it's just everything looks bad.
Like a lot of that has to be going to the actors, I'm imagining, I guess, right? I'm
I would say at
imagining.
least 50. I would say at least half of it.
Because I remember we mentioned before the Green Knight cost about half as much, and the CGI looks better and more interesting,
Mhm.
and there are more colors in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
why do
I
you
just want to know.
Black Widow cost like $250 million, and the only two colors in that movie are white and gray.
Mhm.
And like not like a stark white and gray. And it's not like, it doesn't look cool or
No.
interesting. It's not like a sci-fi movie. It's like a dull gray.
Yeah.
It's like dishwater gray is specifically the
Dishwater.
color palette of that movie.
That is great. That dishwater gray is a great term for like how a movie
For
can look.
how a lot of these movies look.
Yeah. Yeah. Um all right, do you want to read reviews? Because I've got a couple for some of the movies we've mentioned this episode. I believe you do as well.
Uh yes. Well, why don't I've gone first a few times. Why don't you take it?
Okay. All right. So as aforementioned, the movie He's All That. This is a 2-star review from Dylan. I've never seen Citizen Kane, Psycho, Goodfellas, Good Will Hunting, The Exorcist, The Dark Knight, Parasite, or The Shawshank Redemption, but I have seen He's All That. So what I respect about this review is like a lot of times people will be like, this is my Citizen Kane, or they'll go for like the cheap joke that's like, oh, I'm gonna mention a good movie in a comment section about a bad movie. This
Yeah.
guy is just
So you
being
guys know, if
honest.
you do that on Letterboxd, you're lame and we don't like you.
Yeah.
It's been done a billion times on
Yeah.
every one of these movies. You're not cool or funny when you say that Cats is better than Citizen Kane. You're
Yes.
annoying and you're clogging up these section. You're
Yeah.
not. It's not funny.
No.
It's over.
So yeah, I just like that this guy owned up to like all the like famous classic movies he's never seen, and he was
I
just
think
like,
that might be the top 10 movies on Letterboxd, to be
it
honest.
probably is. It probably is. Yeah. So yeah.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, I appreciate the honesty. Yeah.
So our second review is from Emma, who gives another film we've talked about, Camilla Cabello's debut performance
Mm,
as Cinderella,
yes.
5 stars, who says, "This was so funny, and I love that they used famous songs." Now, I didn't check, but I wanted to include this review because I want a little homework for our viewers. I want you to look at this woman's profile.
Okay.
And if her profile was active before the production of the movie Cinderella,
Right.
and if she follows anyone other than people who were involved in the
The
making of the
movie
movie
Cinderella.
Cinderella,
Yeah.
then I will Venmo you $5.
Okay.
I won't do that, but I will Venmo you $5.
Yeah. Yeah. My second review is for the movie He Is All That, from 2021, starring. Never mind. We know who it's starring. This is a half-star review from Shaikh Ha, or I don't know how to pronounce that. Apologies. This one says, haven't seen it. I just wanted the average rating to go down. Respect.
Respect.
Be more like, that person. Everyone.
On the other hand, I have a review from Medak who gives He's All That 5 stars.
Oh, opposite end of the spectrum.
A very good example of the cyberpunk genre. much like I agree, much like in Blade Runner 2049,
Yeah.
this movie is about a man who has a computer girlfriend,
Hmm. Yeah.
influencer ads. It would actually be really funny if like they did like when they replaced Chris D'Elia in Army of the
Army of
Dead,
the Dead. Yeah.
if they just have like Addison Rae doing like TikTok dances, just like CGI'd
Yeah.
in the movie, like on a little box, and just have everyone interacting with her.
Yeah. I wonder how many they make her do in the movie.
Uh, you think there's a music? How much you want to bet there's at least one musical number?
I would bet a lot of things on that.
You think there might be? You think there is?
Hmm. Yeah.
Or at
Even
least,
if it's just like a dance. Do you mean like they're singing?
as in, like, there's got to be like one dance scene,
There's a
right?
dance. There's at least one dance.
Right. If not, then I do applaud the restraint.
It's probably in like the cafeteria too.
And I don't think it's an original song. I'm sure
No.
it's like, a song that exists, but
Yeah.
they're just like dancing around to it.
Hmm.
But there definitely is like a montage that has a dance scene in it.
For sure. For sure. We should do a video on that, like predicting what happens before we watch it too. Like we were gonna do with Spider-Man No Way
Well,
Home.
that would be cheating because it's a remake.
That's true. Well, I haven't seen the original though.
Uh, I
Maybe
haven't
it's
either.
not cheating. So would it be cheating?
It wouldn't be cheating, no. But
We
the
could do
remake
this.
is also a remake. It's a remake of a remake.
Yeah, that's true. All right, my last review from Ash Avenue is a half-star review for Cinderella, and this says, "Sometimes you can girl boss too close to the sun."
Hey, in
That's
this film, her girl bossing paid off. She girl bossed her
it's
way
probably
from
true.
small business owner to, you know, vaguely European country monarch.
Hmm. Yeah. So this review
It
is
would, it would
wrong.
be funny if they if all the like fairy tales showed like the politics of the kings and the queens.
Yeah.
Like Cinderella becomes queen and then like destroys the country.
Right.
Like she
There's like a
sends
famine.
Yeah, there's a famine. There's like she decides to invade France for no reason,
Yeah.
just to steal the Eiffel Tower back.
Yeah.
She starts many wars and pestilences, and
Yeah.
she begins like a bloody persecution of the like
Then Prince
of the Irish.
Charming. Then Prince Charming like tries to overthrow.
Yeah, Prince Charming then leads an army, and there's a long bloody battle after.
Yeah. And he gets decapitated.
Yeah, there should be one Disney princess movie set right before the French Revolution that ends
Right.
with all the characters like lined up and guillotined one after another.
Yeah.
Well, Anastasia, I guess, is kind of like that. It begins
Sure.
with the family getting like executed by the Bolsheviks.
Sure.
But they should make one movie where that happens at the end.
I
Like
agree.
like at the end of Suicide Squad, all the peasants revolt
Yeah.
and then they like knock down the doors and they just shoot like Cinderella and
Yeah.
Prince Charming all point blank, and they go "Viva, Viva the Kingdom!"
Yeah. Yeah. Long live long. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be good.
and then like you have Cinderella's body and like Prince Charming's body and the king's body. They're all like hanging up in front of the.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
They
like
have the
hanging upside down in front of.
like taxidermy.
Yeah, like taxidermy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the U.S. sends the CIA to lead a counter-revolution, and then many war crimes are committed.
We should make a studio that's just like Disney movies, but not. And they're like R-rated and like terrible things happen to all the characters.
This should be. We should create like the movie version of those like T-shirts with like gangster Bugs Bunny
Yeah.
or like SpongeBob, like he's like counting money, he's got a cigar
Yeah.
in his mouth.
Yeah.
We should make like the film studio version of that.
Yes. Yeah. and we like slightly change up the names. Like Cinderella is like
Cinderbella.
Cinderbella. Yeah, it's like one letter's different.
And it's like, no, this is
Weeping
an entirely
Beauty.
original story.
Yeah. No, you can't sue us for this.
Hey, isn't it protected under parody and satire? We can do it.
Yeah. It's all right. All
So
right.
our last review of the night is for Cinderella.
Yes.
Toltol gives it 5 stars and says, loved this new take on the plot. I like to believe she's referring to our edition where
Right.
they are
What we just
executed by the revolting peasantry.
Yeah, and all the reviews are like such a bold new take on a children's classic.
Bold, fresh, original.
Right.
The Disney gift basket that they gave me included a little mini rifle.
Right. Yeah, we send out our gift baskets for for people who get our advanced screenings.
Yeah, the studios will send us the ropes we will use to hang them with. That is, of course, parody and satire.
That is. Well, that's it. Cinderella, the episode. I don't know. Yeah, this was our biggest Cinderella episode, our biggest Into the Woods episode that we'll probably ever have. So, to all the super fans of those things, we hope you enjoyed this. We hope you come back next week, listen to past episodes, whatever you want. We don't care. But yeah, we'll be back next Friday. Evan, anything else?
I remember in our early episodes when we used to say like save entertainment at the end.
Did we?
I think we did, but it was like ironically.
Yeah, ironically, right. We would never be like,
and remember to save entertainment. No, it wasn't like
yeah,
that.
Yes.
Yeah. We should come up with a closing thing.
A closing thing?
Yeah.
What do you think we should say? The episode is over.
Yeah, it should be the episode. It's just cut off mid-sentence.
The episode is